Happy Friday, everybody. I'm glad you could be here to join me, even if I wasn't right here when you got here. Now, we are going to have some fun today. Now, the other day, we made some breakfast sausages. Now, if you don't want to keep all of those spices in your cupboard, you can definitely do things a little bit differently. If you like, you can look for me at any farmer's market, and you will find that I have my TSL Organics breakfast sausage mix, which I am very, very proud of. This is something I've been working on for a little bit, and it's finally just right where I want it. So come hang out with me at the market and ask your questions about keto. We can talk about what it looks like for you to have your own keto coach. We can talk about whatever you like to talk about. And I am going to try very hard when I'm at the market to have some kind of a sample for different blends that I have, so you can try it and see if it's something you want to keep in your cupboard. Now, we have lots to do today, so we are just going to get started. Now, before we do, though, I have a fresh hot cup of coffee. That is delicious. And the flavor du jour is dulce de leche. Now, this is a Mexican caramel. If you've never had it, I highly recommend it. It is lovely. It's not something that I have in my coffee a lot. I do quite like it, but I like flavors that are intense. And caramel of any variety isn't usually as intense as I like it to be. So, on that note, we are just going to get started. Now, what we have in here, now just let me get this out of the way so that we don't splash anything on it. What we have in here is nothing that you can see, sadly. So I need to change my camera here. Okay. Now you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what we have here is 67 grams of almond butter. And I know I said we were making, hello there, how are you? I know I said we were making keto breakfast sandwiches, and we are, and they are not going to taste like almonds. This is a little bit of an issue if you have a nut allergy, I know, but just bear with me because this is going to be fun. Okay, so 67 grams of almond butter, and to that we are going to add 90 grams or 6 tablespoons. Oh, I love almonds too. Almonds are my favorite. Now, if you are not measuring your ingredients in grams, that's okay. You don't have to, but what I like about, and I have just officially lost my cloth. There we go. What I like about measuring it in grams is that it's very precise. So if you are trying to replicate a recipe over and over again, very easy to do it when you do it in grams. Okay, so to this we are going to add, except that I have put them away, we're going to add 4 tablespoons. We are going to add 4 eggs. And guess what? In this carton, I have exactly 1 egg. So here I thought I was all ready to go today. And I need to reach into the fridge one more time. Luckily, I rarely ever have less than 4 or 5 dozen eggs in my fridge because we go through a lot of eggs. And that being said, you can tell that we quite like eggs, but even though we are fans of eggs, I don't like my bread to taste eggy. So that is why we are making this bread the way that we're making it. There's cloud bread that you can make and it tastes quite eggy. And there's all different kinds of bread that you can make. And a lot of them are very good. I like them, but this is for a breakfast sandwich. So this is not something that I want to taste eggy. Now, we need 4 eggs in here, and cracking them into a dish lets you make sure that you don't have any eggshells in your eggs. So and then I just almost don't. Okay. That's 2. Now, I could have had these cracked a little bit earlier, I guess, but I didn't. And it would have saved us me having to do it right now. So, how long? We used to crack them open in Spain, but if they're not ripe, they take a long time to crack and they last horrible. That's very true. And did you know? Okay, now I shouldn't say that I know this. I'm going to say this is what I've been told. I know a couple of egg farmers, and they told me that for some reason, if a farmer washes the eggs before they set them away, for whatever reason, the eggs don't last as long. So I don't know if that's true or not true. I just know that's what I've been told. But my eggs are fortunately always refrigerated, so we're just going to pop these back in here. Oh, there we go. Right back where it belongs. Now, we have 4 eggs, 90 grams of butter, 67 grams of almond butter, and to that we are just going to add 2 teaspoons of heavy cream. Now we're going to get this all mixed up, so write this down because this is the most amazing recipe. You are going to be so grateful that you did this. Now we're going to turn our mixer on. We want to get this mixed up thoroughly before we add our dry ingredients, and our dry ingredients are easy peasy. So the butter that I'm using is salted butter, and I like salted butter because I like a little bit of extra salt in anything. They take a long time to crack and they last horrible. Oh, the taste. Yes. Well, you know, I don't know what makes an egg last longer for sure, but I know that fortunately I always have enough room in my fridge that I can keep them in there, and then they last very well. But if you crack an egg open and it looks milky, or it has any kind of a smell really, then it isn't something that you should be eating. Okay, now we're going to get this thoroughly mixed. You're probably going to see little clumps of butter in here when it's done. If you have really hard butter, put it on defrost in your microwave if you have a microwave for a few minutes. If not, get it out 3 or 4 hours ahead of time. Okay, now we've got this pretty thoroughly mixed. So now we're going to take 27 grams of almond flour, and we're going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon of homemade baking powder. Now, were you here when I did the homemade baking powder? It is 2 parts cream of tartar, 1 part baking soda. Now, if you do that, if you're doing keto, I know that this is a tiny little bit, but it's a tiny little bit. If you use store-bought, you're using something that has cornstarch in it, and cornstarch is absolutely not good for us. And then we've got 1/2 teaspoon of cream. Now, with this, we want to mix these ingredients up thoroughly before we add them to our wet ingredients, because we don't want to take a chance on having a clump of baking powder in there. That would not be nice. Okay, get that little clump of butter back down there. Now that we have that all mixed up, we're going to turn our mixer on again. Get our cheese out of the way here. Make sure that it doesn't get any batter on it. And we're going to turn this up just a wee bit. Now the coconut flour is very absorbent. So if you're making something like this, because we have a lot of eggs in here, so if you're making something like this, the coconut flour is going to absorb a lot of the moisture from the eggs. And especially if eggs are a little bit older. Oh, well, I'm glad that you just used Twitch and that you joined me here. Thank you very much. I will have a great stream, and I hope that you join me again when you can. Okay, so we are just going to get this going full bore here. I'm going to try and keep it away from the microphone as much as I can. Okay, so the coconut flour that we put in here is going to absorb a lot of the moisture from the eggs and make this look more like a normal-ish batter. Now, we're not adding any sweetener to this because this is for breakfast sandwiches. So I gotta tell you, if you're looking at English muffins, or I think that's probably good enough. There we go. If you're looking at English muffins or anything, any type of bread, and you're seeing sugar in it, please walk away. Bread does not need sugar unless you are talking about the sugar that you need to feed the yeast with. This has no yeast, it needs no sugar. So now this is done. This is ready to put in a pan. Now, if you have one, you can use, this is a muffin top pan, and it is sprayed with coconut oil. So we have coconut flour, coconut oil, and we're just going to divide this batch that we made evenly into 6 portions. So if you go around and put 1 spoonful in each cup, and then we'll go around a second time. So, you know, you can buy aerosol coconut oil, and it's got a propellant in it. So this is the 2nd spoonful for each one. It's got a bit of a propellant in it, so you may not want to use that, but if you do, make sure, if you're buying a cooking spray, make sure that you are buying one that is either coconut oil or avocado oil. Not butter. It is not real butter if they put it in a can. Avocado oil and coconut oil can definitely be real, but I don't trust butter in a can. Okay, now we're just going to go around and put about half a spoon. So we've got 2 in each thing so far, each depression. Yes, I washed my hands before we got together here. Okay. That is lovely. It's salty and tangy. And I don't have a production crew here today, so I get to do things all by myself. Now this is going to go into a 350-degree oven. Make sure that you preheat your oven 350 degrees for 9 minutes. Or depending on your oven, it may only take 7 or 8 minutes. So, you know what? Let's do an 8-minute timer on this, and we'll see what it looks like at the 8-minute mark. Alexa, set an 8-minute bun timer.
Bun timer, 8 minutes, starting now.
Okay, awesome. Now, I'm going to show you another trick that a lot of people don't know. Did you know that you can pre-cook your poached eggs? And it is easy peasy. Now what you need to pre-cook
this might answer your question.
Alexa, stop. She's eavesdropping on us. What you need to pre-cook your eggs is an ice water bath, which I did not have ready ahead of time because I didn't want to take a chance on spilling it, and I got so many things going on for you today that there was a very good possibility that I would have spilled it. So now I, being the sneaky one that I am, have got 2 poached eggs ready, and we are just going to pop those right in. Right into our ice water bath. Now these, I had the water not quite deep enough to cover the top because I wanted that beautiful yolk showing through. So when you do this, you take them out of the water, pop them straight into an ice water bath. It's going to stop that cooking process. So when we do that, it means that our eggs are going to be ready when we want them later. Now, the other thing that you can do when you are doing a poached egg is you can trim them with a pair of scissors so you get them just the right shape and get rid of any little stringy bits that are on the edge. So we just trim it a little bit. You can see that we've got, now that happens often. And the other thing that you can do when you go to make these is you can strain them first. Okay, now these are going to go back in the water because I want them hot. Okay, so that is how you make them ahead of time. Leave them a little undercooked, a little softer than you would like them. So if you want them hard, leave them at medium or medium soft, and that way when you warm them up in boiling water, you're not going to overcook them. They're going to be absolutely beautiful and ready for you to serve your guests. I need another sip of coffee. So I'm very grateful to AJ for joining us this morning. Hopefully AJ will join us again for another live. I love having young people from Twitch or any other platform coming to hang out with us. Now the other thing, because we have a few minutes left, so the other thing that we're going to do today is we are going to do up 1 pound of breakfast sausage. Now I'm just going to take this out of the way. Okay, so we're going to do up 1 pound of breakfast sausage, and this is easy to do. This is 17 grams of TSL Organics breakfast sausage mix. And you guys, you know me. There is no way that you're going to get me to put my hands in raw meat. So on we go with the vinyl gloves. If you don't mind touching raw meat, that is absolutely fine. This is just a me thing. I don't like the feel of it. So 17 grams of breakfast sausage mix, and this is ground pork. So this is your standard breakfast sausage, and you need to make sure that it's really well incorporated. You can sprinkle a little bit in and then mix it a bit, and sprinkle a little bit more and then mix it a little bit more. Okay. Now, that is probably mixed enough. Now, I am not going to add any salt to this because we aren't going to need any. But what we are going to need, stick that back in my pocket. We are going to need a frying pan. So I'm just going to move our pot with our eggs over here and grab a frying pan. Well, I guess I am using this frying pan, which is actually better because this one is non-stick. So we're just going to heat this up to about a 5. Get my glove back on here. And we're going to make breakfast sausage patties. And patties are what you get on every single breakfast sandwich. Hey, Kelly, thanks for joining me. Did you know? Oh, did you get your birthday gift? You know what? I did, and I actually talked about it on one of my lives, and I'm guessing that that was the birthday gift that had no signature on it. I was so excited. You know, I got to tell you guys, I don't know if you're still here, Kelly. I hope you are. Twice now. 3 times, twice, 3 times, I don't know. I have gotten the most amazing surprise, and I just love getting something in the mail, and I didn't have any idea where it came from. And it made my whole week, and that was on my birthday, or just after. And, okay, so I gotta show you. I'm making just a small breakfast sausage. Now this is going to look like it's too big, but remember, this pork sausage is going to shrink down. So We don't want it to be too big for the sandwich. Now we have 2 eggs, so I will make 2 sausages and just squish them down so that they're flat and skinny. So I don't know why I didn't think of it being Kelly, because Kelly was I don't know, do we call her a culprit or do we call her an angel? I think maybe we'll call her an angel culprit. How about that? Or a culprit? I don't know. One way or the other, it was just the most amazing surprise, and she just has the most wonderful heart, and I am so grateful to have her as a friend. So, and she is absolutely. Now I am just going to leave this because I have those 2 sausage patties in the pan now. She is a wonderful example for young girls. This lady is a hunter and a gardener, and she just, yeah, she's an amazing lady. So make sure that whatever it is that you're good at, that you do it out loud, like Kelly does with her hunting and her gardening, and be an example for young people. Way too many of our young people do not have that kind of example anymore, and we need to be that example for them. Okay, now our timer has ended. Alexa, stop. Now, let's see what these look like. Alexa, stop.
Bun timer stopped on bedroom show.
Oh, look at these, look at these, look at these. How beautiful are those? They're toasty and roasty and amazing. Now we're going to turn these up a little bit. Get this out of the way. Ugh. These are absolutely beautiful, and they are incredibly hot. So I am not going to touch them. And because we have a recipe that has so much egg in it, we definitely want to make sure that we leave them cool, because they are going to be a little bit fragile. So I am just going to set these out of the way, and we're going to let those cool, but we're not going to have to wait very long because I was on it. So these are buns that I made a little earlier today, and they are nice and cool. So look at this. They are absolutely beautiful on the top. They're soft and wonderful on the bottom. Now, you could make 2 batches. With the amount of batter that we made, if you want a thinner sandwich, you can make 2 batches. So you don't have to make them as big as these ones are. That is going to be with the egg and the sausage patty. There is no way that I could eat a whole one of these. It is just not going to happen. So, you might want to make them smaller. I would just cut it in half. Now these sausage patties, now we're right at the bottom of the hour, so I'm going to assemble these and show you. We're going to have to do it without the sausage patty. Unless you want to hang out with me for a little bit. Okay, so we are going to take one of these buns, and the sausage patty would absolutely go on first. Now today I did the eggs on, or I poached them, but you don't have to poach them. These ones I wanted poached because this is part of my lunch, and that's just how I wanted them done. So that's what we did. Now, even though these are called breakfast sandwiches are not just for breakfast anymore. Breakfast sandwiches are for any time that you're going to eat a meal, and you don't have to eat. Let's talk about how many meals a day you want, because we all know the answer to this, right? You have to have 3 meals a day because breakfast is the most important meal, and all that jazz. And I get that. It's definitely not true, but I get it. And there are definitely exceptions to the rule. Some people, if you have blood sugar that's up and down, you may need to have that little bit of something in the morning to get you through until supper, or whenever you're going to eat next. Don't eat empty carbs. Have bacon and eggs. Have butter. Have a breakfast sandwich. This is so easy, and if you have not seen my breakfast sausage mix that I have at the markets now, If you're at a market where I am, by all means, just come and see me. These are almost done, guys. So we're just going to hang out here until they are. Now, these can also be frozen. You want to flash freeze these. So flash freezing means you're going to set them out on a tray and you're going to freeze each individual component. Yes, that includes the egg and the sausage patty. And then after they're frozen, you can assemble them, wrap them in parchment paper, and then put them in a freezer bag. And when you take them out and you want to reheat them, let them thaw for a little bit. Wrap them in a paper towel and pop them in the microwave on medium to high heat, depends on your microwave, for about a minute, minute and a half. You'll figure that out in your microwave for sure. Now these are almost done. They are just absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to turn up the heat a little bit on these babies. So I've got these at 9 now. And you can see I put these in a dry pan, and because it's non-stick, we don't have to worry so much about sticking, but that also means that we are not going to get quite as good a sear on these. And are they done? They are done. Okay, should we make a breakfast sandwich? I'm thinking yes. Now let me grab a plate. Okay, we are going to do this the right way. Bread, sausage patties, a slice of hard cheese. Please do not buy cheese slices if you're in the grocery store. Cheese slices are made with all kinds of things that are just nasty, nasty. They are not good for you. So you want to make sure that you are buying hard cheese. And you can either slice it yourself or you can buy the slices ready done. Okay, now I am going to use the thinnest of these to put on top. And look at that. That, my friends, is a breakfast sandwich. Now, let's just take a look and see what this looks like when we cut it in half. Now there is my medium egg in my breakfast sandwich. This could be heated up a little bit if you want the bread warm. I do not need my bread warm. I just want That is delicious. That is a very good breakfast sausage sandwich. Now, if you like your breakfast sandwiches with bacon, that's fine. Do it with bacon. If you want your eggs fried, that's fine. Do them fried. This sandwich is yours, so you do you. Do it the way you do it. But you will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. So, I want all of you to have an absolutely amazing Friday until we get together again on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Oh, trying that. Just going to turn that sausage off right now. And we will find something delicious to make on Sunday morning at 10. So if you're new here, say hi in the chat. Tell me whether or not you're doing keto, have done keto, planning on doing keto, or if you just like the recipes for keto. And remember, keto is the extreme end of a low-carb diet. Not everybody needs keto. Some people need low-carb. So, well, thank you very much. I have fun setting up my studio so that you can see what I'm doing and still see me making funny faces. So, have an amazing Friday. I am grateful that you've joined me, whether you've joined me live or you're watching on a replay. Thank you very much for being here, and I hope all of you do your very best to live your best version of this shining life. That's what I'm going to do. I need to make another batch of sausage seasoning for when I see you at market. So have an amazing day, and I will see you